Love you.
Well, hello everybody. Greetings and welcome to my YouTube channel. Oh, I think we're okay. Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel, all that is, and this episode of the SHAMANKAS, the Trinity alignment of Shekinah Grace, Shekinah Ma, and myself. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are moving up the chakras within our body and we are at the throat chakra today. So welcome to this episode and yeah, put a like on this video if you are subscribed. Thank you for being here. Come on in, put a comment in the chat as we progress through this discussion. We're so pleased to have you here. And so just wanting to welcome my two guests in today, Shekinah Grace and Shekinah Ma. Welcome to the show. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Wet and wild.
Yeah, we're having some pretty wild weather too, hey, up here in BC. So it's been pretty good here today. It's been it was raining yesterday, but today it's been really nice. So yeah. Well, ladies, let's get started. So I'm going to light the candle as we bring our energies in, and I'll just ask everybody to, there you go, candles lit. Just taking a deep breath in, gathering our energies. If you feel like closing your eyes, and taking a deep breath in and just letting go of any and all energies that are disturbing or distracting, and just bringing us into this now present moment, letting any and all energies that are not in alignment fall away. And we ask that a protective shield be created around this transmission as we begin our discussion today. And with that, I'd like to welcome Shekinah Ma to guide us in sacred ceremony.
And I'm going to ask that everybody just opens their mouth and allows for their jaw to become open, especially for those who like to clench their jaws, just nice and opening as we open into this throat chakra. So coming into the place of the east, coming into the place of the rising sun, we have powerful, powerful energies existing in the east in this time. This is the place of the morning star and the evening star, the Venusian energies connecting into our soul star, the sun. Gaia's sun star is the sun. And we come into this place of the east and we welcome in the winged ones, those of the angels and the fairies and the bird tribes. And as we open up into our throat chakra, I just like you to imagine you are hearing the sound of many, many birds as the birds are singing as they wake and call in for the sun, both in the morning of the dawn and also at the dusk when the sun sets. The birds are also saying good night to the sun. So we're opening up our throat chakra, opening up our expression, and we are welcoming in the bird speak, the language of the birds, as it is called, which is the original ancient language. Welcome back, bird tribe. Coming into the south, into the place of the peaking sun, coming into that place of the dragons and the serpents. We come into the place of the dragon lines, the ancient ley lines, and the power of the fire crystals, the two-eye stones of Atlantis. The fire crystals that activate our dear Mother Earth and carry the song lines of creation. Again, opening up our throat chakra, opening to express the song lines. Welcoming in now the place of the setting sun, the place of west, the place of water, the place of the merfolk, the place of the fishes and the whales and the seahorse and all that which swims and has fins. Welcoming in this place of the whale song, the ancient keepers of the stories, the record keepers. The whale song is the song that has been sung since the beginning of days. Breathing in and blowing out through the blowhole of your own blowhole behind in your big, beautiful heart chakra. Just taking a nice big breath, and just like the dolphins and the whales, let your air blow out through your blowhole, unlocking and unblocking your heart chakra so you can make your way up into this beautiful throat chakra. Tuning in now to the place of north and to the place of our beautiful earth element, tuning into the ancestors, tuning into that white-haired man, white-haired lady, tuning into the place of Sasquatch, the guardian of the earth. Tuning into this place of the storytellers, those who have carried the stories throughout all times through the oral traditions. Tuning into the place of the north, tuning into the place of earth, tuning into the dark of the night, tuning into those beings that can see through the darkness like the owl and the sacred cat. As we tune into this beautiful circle of life, into this medicine wheel, let us put our hands on our heart. Taking a nice, long, deep breath and feel how all of this comes together right here in the center, right here into the heart, the earth, the air, the water, the fire, the north, the east, the west, the south, all the energies of all the elementals and all the guardians of all the elementals, all coming into this one center point. And as we do in the native traditions, we let out the call of the wild. And we begin our ceremony.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can hear the wolves.
We all let out our call. Everybody
Echoing.
should do it.
It's very liberating, isn't it?
That is the whole point of the throat chakra, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Liberation, expression, vocalize your truth, give power to your voice.
Absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think we titled this show that way too, right? It's the activating the throat chakra with the breath, with the voice, and with the roar. So there we go. We've got the roar. And it's great that we're on the cusp of the Lionsgate portal as well, right? That's so powerful. There's such a potent energy coming in from that Lionsgate portal as well. So just to give everybody a little bit of an introduction to what we're going to be working with in terms of the throat chakra. In Sanskrit, it's called the Vishuddha. Am I saying that right? Vishuddha chakra. It's the 16-petaled lotus, which means pure or purification. It is the color blue, turquoise. I think I've got a little crystal here as well. So it's that beautiful ocean blue. And it facilitates the expression of truth, clarity, honest communication. And it's a transformation through form into manifestation of information, truth, and speech. And it is the element of air, ether, space, and the Akash. And so when we have a blocked chakra, it just means that we have a difficulty in expressing ourselves. And I know I have, over the many years, have had a very blocked throat chakra. And this year has been a very activating year for me in terms of opening up my own throat chakra and breaking through, if you will, into that public domain, into speaking my truth. And so fear of speaking out is that blocked throat chakra, social anxiety, In terms of physical manifestation, it can come through as asthma, it can come through as thyroid problems. And so as we go through this discussion, we'll talk about some solutions as well and how that manifests into our life. And so another thing that comes to mind is lying. You know, when we lie, it's like we put barbs into our throat, into that energy field of the throat chakra. There's trauma as well that sits there from our childhood. And I know for myself as well, I've been working through all of these past lives and within my inner child as well. And that has definitely opened up my throat chakra as well. So this energy says, I speak. So, you know, it's that speaking of the truth, the communication, expression, creativity. It's the inspiration that comes to us from within, from that God source, if you will. And it says, I am a powerful being. I speak my truth. I tune into the wisdom of the universe and align with that wisdom. And so these are the intentions for myself and for others, which is coming from a pure sense of energy and in alignment with that higher self energy. And so when we do this, there is no anxiety, no harshness. It comes from a place of calm. It comes with kind words, with kind expressions, with kind gestures. And this is when you're in true alignment with your divine will, with your divine essence, if you will. And so in doing that, we are removing that core fear, we are replacing it with courage, with bravery, and that expression of the lion that we just talked about, right? That beautiful, powerful energy.
Mm.
And so as we activate this energy, we are anchoring and repairing all of that energy that might have been stuck within those throat chakra channels as we speak our
Mm.
truth powerfully and peacefully. So I'll open it up to you, ladies, to bring your truth forward.
Well, I just want to quickly throw out there, we have all probably heard of the abracadabra, yes?
Yeah,
Abracadabra, bippity boppity boo.
yeah.
Well, in the root of that little spellcaster, the etymology actually is more Hebrew, and it's avre cadavre, which means I create what I speak. So in the beginning was the word, and then the word was made flesh, avre cadavre. So whether you're conscious or not, you are still manifesting that which you spell. You spell the word, therefore the word is your spell. And so it's very good for each of us to not only take into account what we say inside of our own selves, but also that which we speak out into existence, giving expression to that manifestation through our spelling of the word. So that's a little nugget for people to chew upon.
Yeah, it's very true because we are infecting that collective field, if you will, right? That's the frequency we are infecting into the collective field. So it
Mhm.
absolutely makes sense. Shekinah Grace?
Yeah, that makes me think of how our voice, like I've mentioned this before, but think of the vocal cords and the instrument. It's like, and the heart, like heart strings. I've just been playing with this analogy of the body as an instrument that we're fine tuning, and you know, the heart. It's like it's so just miraculous and systematic. You know, God gave us the perfect setup to support our self-realization path, to support our ascension journey, to support self-knowing. You know thyself, and to thine own self be true. And it's just this perfect uh, systematic from root to crown. You know, it makes it so last week when we did the heart, it's like we were clarifying, we were purifying within the heart space, and something like a power of that clarity and coming into the heart is having control over like the senses, not being like so pulled in different directions or distracted, and being able to assimilate information in that quiet, still, centered place within your own heart. And so you're gathering information in that space, and you're also clarifying the emotions, which just sit below the heart center. And so right now with this Lionsgate portal, and we're in like the solar alchemy of this time is to bridge from solar plexus into the throat chakra. And so I have personally experienced where I haven't moved the energy through my heart and just spoke from my solar plexus, and usually it came out like distorted or chaotic or harsh or not being in total honesty, or all of the imbalances, or maybe the clues that give us that point us in the direction that the heart needs to be involved, and that we were given 2 ears and 1 mouth before we speak. So I love that you shared that it's a purification center and that it's designed to speak truth with clarity. And so for me, what's been coming up, even though it's all about expression, I've actually been getting that it's also about silence and listening, like deep listening to the heart of the other and to your own heart, in order to understand what tone, the heart tone, the tone of love that is appropriate in response. Whereas when you don't involve the heart and it's just like emotional to throat chakra, then we're in a bit of dissonance. We're not in total harmony. The harmonization happens and the clarification happens in the heart, for which we must learn to listen, inwardly and deeply to the space or the people around you in order to have response rather than reaction, I guess is my point, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, it does make sense. And that just brings to mind perhaps where we are right now, right, in that recovery stage, if you will, as a civilization, after being heavily imposed, if you will, by that draconian mindset, right? And when you think about it, like these beings were disconnected from their heart system, right? So they didn't speak from their heart, and they were disconnected from the energy of the creator. And so they were directly connected to their root and to their sacral chakra. And so they were connected from those 2 chakras into the throat. And so they were bringing in that energy of fear, of imbalance, of aggression, right? And so when they speak, it's coming from that energy. It's not coming from the heart, from that pure God energy, if you will, or that creator energy, right? That alchemy has not taken place for them to be able to speak in that way, right? In that frequency. And so the world that we live in today is from that perspective, if you will. Does that make sense? It's that lower 4th vibrational energy.
Yeah, and the heart, like that makes me think of different like hijacking and seals and all these attempts to keep us from accessing the heart and feeling the heart and involving the heart in decision making and as well as in our communication. And so that was, it's an important place to reside for a long time. And sometimes, I remember when my throat chakra was blocked and I felt pressure to speak, but it didn't feel authentic. So I would try and speak, but it didn't feel like natural. It was just because it was expected or people were saying, speak up, but I needed more time to sit in my heart chakra. And then when I dedicated like a couple of years just being in that center and communing within that space or that temple or those chambers, then through that love also, that started to come, the self-love, then the voice started to communicate from my heart center rather than my solar plexus.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's almost like you're replacing bravery, if you will, with judgment, with that false sense of security, right?
mm-hmm.
It's that alchemy that takes place. Yeah.
Where you don't feel holistic. You don't, when we're from that ego place, we're still not reclaimed in our wholeness, or we still feel fragmented. We're still healing, all of the fragments. And then the heart is where we enter more into that unified field of consciousness, embrace, call back ourselves back to wholeness. And then, so another thing that came to me is that God gave us our tone, like our own song, our own resonance, our own symphony of sound that comes to our own instrument, that is utterly unique to your blueprint, your key code, and your soul signature, that is the medicine that we seek. And so people can heal themselves purely through a clarified throat chakra, by speaking over their body, praying over their body. And if the voice doesn't soothe your own body, if your voice doesn't have a soothing effect or a blessing effect when the resonance of it hits your physical body, then there's just some fine tuning to do. There's just more tuning.
Well, and
And
there's
I
literally a
feel like
technology
since
now
I've
for that.
discovered, yeah.
There's literally a sound healing. You can go to a voice analysis and they will actually tell you exactly what is, like if you have a disease, an illness, they can pinpoint what it is via the voice through a voice analysis technology. And then they can play the right codes or tones, and your body will heal and your voice will change.
Makes so much sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I just saw something flash on my Facebook this I think it was today. It was just a visual of sound waves going through a tumor and how those energy waves were just healing it. Was it you, Shekinah Ma, that posted that? I can't
I
remember now.
posted it before. I don't know if the algorithms, I don't know when that was, but
Yeah,
I just
but it's
like
so
think of the
powerful.
ether, the vibration, because Tesla said if you want to think in the world of like the universe, think in energy, vibration, and frequency, right?
Frequency. Yeah, yeah,
So this is the chakra of ether, of vibration, of frequency, right? And it's also our jug, right? Our jugular. And there's a reason why vampires always go for the jug, right? There's a reason why we've been hung. There's a reason why we've had our heads chopped off. You know, it's everything in the power of evil, which is Live spelled backwards, evil, to cut our throat chakra off. Don't speak the truth, you know, don't be able to resonate and frequency wise, like harmonize with truth. You know, it's all about keeping the truth away from us so that we won't be free.
yeah,
So it's really a hijacking of our freedom and our liberation, because as we know, truth sets us free, right?
yeah.
So it's a
Well, that makes perfect sense because if you look back on the last 4 or 5 years, we've gone through that with, with the media and,
put
yeah,
a
with
muzzle on it.
with the cloth over the mouth and all of those things, right? It's like, yeah, we've been totally suppressed in terms of speaking our truth and just bringing through what we're truly feeling with all the censorship and all of the bullshit that's going on with the politicians and the media and this and that, It's like everywhere you turn, it's like they've got different methodologies to shut us up really and not bring out the truth in the way that we want to, right? So yeah, it's absolutely right.
Because the voice is an identifier as well. That's why people will, you know, change their voice if they go and speak to something that they're not, you know, safe or comfortable speaking to. So they'll
Yeah,
change and augment their voice,
yeah,
because the voice is an identifier, just like a thumbprint. You know, now everybody's speaking into their AI all the bloody time. And so guess who has your voice? Guess who has your frequency signature?
yeah,
And your
absolutely.
eyeballs, which are the windows to your soul. So that's for the third eye chakra. But holy moly.
Yeah, I think the AI is huge in terms of the overlay and in stealing our voice, right?
What?
Because that's like the whole black cube sort of situation. That's the extraction. That's the way of taking us away from our own individual, Christ consciousness truth, if you will, because that's the AI, that's the artificial, the antichrist, right? That's
Well, and through
that's coming.
CGI, they can take your voice and then they can make anything you, and you
Yeah,
can become like the murderer, even though you have an alibi.
yeah,
But like it's all like half the shit's fake now, if not more than half, you know? So this is a real time of like know thyself, as Shekinah Grace said. You must know thyself, which is also part of releasing the throat chakra,
yeah.
because you can't speak your truth into existence if you're mute. right?
Absolutely.
Something will speak for you or speak over you, which is why they told the children back in the day, don't speak unless you're spoken to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good God.
Well, that was a way of mind control as well, too, right? It's like, you groom the children to be in the image of what you wanted them to be, and so you quell them from truly dreaming from that, from that true angelic voice that they were born to be, part of that creator energy, if you will. So, yeah, absolutely, totally agree with
Well,
that.
in the Waldorf school, we don't speak commands like sit down. We say, you may sit down. Because the fact of the matter is singing is how our actual inner ear can actually hear. When people are yelling, you shut down. When people tell you something that's dissonant to what you're feeling harmonic with, you shut them out. So, like, the irony of it all is that if we all went back to speaking the language of the birds or the English, which was angel language, you would be singing, you wouldn't be talking. So, everything would be a song, which is the song lines, which is the whale song, and which is really actually the song of the symphony, the song of the stars. Everything is singing. Only we speak in a monotone, which I find completely boring. Nobody wants to listen to somebody speaking in a monotone voice where everything is the same. Like, shut up, dude. Literally, please. So, anyhow,
Yeah.
at school, though, like, how many kids can resonate that in school where it's just like, and that's why, like, Dead Poet Society, they're like, oh, Captain, my captain, because what did he do? He got them to speak their truth. He got them to come out of the program brainwashed child robot. So, I say,
Yeah.
everybody take the shackles and the chains off, get the muzzles off, and just like howl, roar, let
Yeah.
it out.
No, I
Especially
like that you brought in
Lionsgate.
the children. I like that you brought in the children because that speaks directly to that wounded inner child as well, right? And all the trauma that is sitting within that throat chakra energy. So, yeah, this is the time to bring up all of that energy and heal all of that, by bringing forth those energies in a calm, in a peaceful manner, and giving that energy the time to heal,
Mhm.
to bring that part out and sort of gently nudge it into the light, so to speak, and say, it's okay, And like the Ho'oponopono prayer says, it's time to give that energy a hug and say, I forgive you, I love you, It's time to make that reconciliation, if you will, and bring that energy into alignment with those higher energies. So yeah, it's all in alignment with what we're talking about right now. So that's beautiful.
Mm. Mhm. And lies do, I think, shut and distort because the truth, like, of our soul doesn't actually recognize lie. And so, if you want to shut down completely your psychic abilities, your spiritual gifts, and your inheritance, your divine inheritance, go ahead and lie. This is why, like, all the politicians have like black eyes, and lawyers will have black eyes and black auras because they've shut down so much of their life force energy by living in lies and deception that they literally are like, your gas tank is empty, bro. Your
Yeah.
life force gas tank is empty. You're running on fumes.
Absolutely. When you think about it, like, you're basically putting arrows into your throat, right? And so when you visualize it, it's like the energy that's coming in from the creator. It's got like just this much of space to fill your body. And if it reaches here, it's leaking out.
Mm,
And there goes my throat, right?
mm,
It's leaking out. It's not going into your heart center, right?
mhm.
So that just tells you that, yeah, it's not going to the places that it's meant to be. So there's a leak.
Why they're not true creators. That's why they need AI, and that's why they need government and rules and strictures and media and mind control programs, and like, that's exactly why, because they're not true creators. They don't use their voice in the way that God ordained the voice to be used. And yeah, that's it. So I mean, where there's just knowing that, it's like where there's any residual fear or you know, to follow this old system, just recognize that there isn't any power behind that illusion.
Same with Hollywood and about all the 99% of the singers. They're not even songwriters. That's the joke. None of these stars write their own music anymore. But all the, it's been actually released. I know, what's that guy, Elton John or something like that, like was speaking in a witch's language in his music, and they actually like even outed that, like that's not even a conspiracy theory, that a lot of the music that is being put out there, you play it backwards and it's like satanic and shit like that. Like a lot of spell speaking works through the music industry, and Lady Gaga is like sitting on the throne of the whore of Babylon, just spewing out black magic. It's just horrendous. So it's like best just to not listen at all to that shit. And the ears, I believe, are directly connected to the throat chakra. So it's not just what you're saying, it's also what you're listening to, because that's going in there. And then, it's going in so you can respond. It's a call and response cycle, right? Through that throat chakra. So it's like we're listening to all the satanic spellcraft from these fallen angel archetypes. And then everybody's singing along, and you're like, shut up, don't say that, mute, cancel. Erase the magic eraser. I've been working a lot with the magic eraser. Cancel that. So it's really good to be careful what you're listening to as well.
Absolutely, totally agree with that. Like, couple of times I've just fallen asleep having something on that was like, totally not what I was supposed to be watching, and then I would wake up in this really weird place, and it's like that energy has got into my body and it's somehow done some weird stuff in my, energy field. And so I have to then spend the next few hours clearing my energy of that, lower dimensional energy or lower frequency band. Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Well, I seen like these ancient goddesses, like Turkey has been going off the hook lately, just like in their architectural finds, and in Spain as well. And there's these women with these ginormous, awesome spiral gold. I don't know if they're earrings, because your ears would not be able to hold that at all. Kind of looks like Princess Leia with her big cool hairdo,
Oh, yeah.
but they're gold. And from what I can kind of read into these giant orbs that they wear on their ears, is they're magnifying the sound frequency of creation. And so that when they're hearing this like sound frequency of creation coming in, that they're speaking with precise, like just complete immaculate speak, like it's like you really want to dial in like a tuning fork exactly what you want to speak into creation. A lot of people are like, I don't know. Oh, I'm so stupid. Shit, I look horrible. I'm so ugly. Whatever all the spell speak is, right? And it's like, no, you want to be like, I am a child of the Most High God, and I sit in the beautiful crowned palace of the angels. It's like that's what you want to be dialing into.
Awesome. So is that something that's like real? Is it happening right now, or have you just seen it on a TV show?
No, that's for reals. So I'm working with a woman who's from Turkey, Demet, and she has been sharing some links of different things that's going into not just Gobekli Tepe, but there's tons of finds right now in the archaeological realm.
Mm.
So they're just uncovering awesome truths. And just FYI, in that Shamaran, in the next season, they get into these three doors. That's on actual tablets that have been unearthed that date back like 12,000 plus years ago. And it's got the three doors. So there's like a whole, one of the things they share in this connection is the snake eats its tail, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the throat chakra, right? So it's
Yeah.
like it's a full circle. So things come back around from when you speak it out into existence, and then it comes back around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all, we're in one of those Ouroboros timelines right now. So as in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. So we're coming into a full loop in that circuit.
Yeah.
So it's like extra cautious what you say, because the manifesting is like this right now.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working in that 0 point energy field on so many levels now, right? And if you bring that snake visual that you just talked about, that makes total sense.
Mm. Yeah, I'll have to get, I can share with you ladies. We can put it somewhere as a post, but the findings coming out right now in Turkey, because it's basically rewriting all of history. Like that's the other thing, is our entire history is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we've been all living under this illusion and deception, and speak about, like again, what that does to us. And then we have the Inquisition that we're all recovering from still, like as a recent timeline, and all the hangings and all the torture, for people being people. And yeah, so we're in like this deep traumatic healing through our throats. And I feel like that's why it's so difficult for people to find their voice, because they've been under so much generational trauma.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about some solutions?
Yeah.
Shekinah Grace, do you want to do your meditation now, or I just have a few pointers to what people can do in terms of healing the throat chakra. Do you want to bring in your meditation now, or we'll talk about it after?
Sure, I can just quickly share. I mean, as
Okay.
you were speaking, I had also written down like the ear of God, the connection. And so like our ears, it's like we want to attune everything to the God frequency, to the golden frequency now. And so if it doesn't sound like something God would say or sing or speak, it's we want to have discernment, because we are powerful creators. And you are absolutely right, Shekinah Ma. In the Vedic system, the ears are the organ of sense that are associated with the throat chakra. And so they are intimately, exactly like connected and linked. So I really loved that. But the insight that I had, and I come back to the breath often, but it's such a great quick way to become still, and the insight I had with the breath this time was that it can be scary to start to activate your throat chakra. It can be emotional as well, because you're moving the energy from solar plexus into, speaking who you are. Initially, it's like you start to explore expressing yourself, expressing your identity, expressing your truth. And so there can be a lot of emotional, release that can happen with that. I love the call and response thing too. I also had written that down. So what I was feeling was that before we speak, if it's new, if we're not yet in like flow with our throat chakra, taking a deep breath in, and it's like the Holy Spirit or the breath of God comes in. If you breathe it deep into your belly, where the emotional realm is, it's like that soothes and calms the waters there. And at the same time, you're expanding your lungs, which give like your heart a muscle, a literal massage, right? Like it kind of like massages the heart space. And so the breath comes in, massages the heart, relaxes the emotional tension or anxiety, and then you spiritualize that solar plexus area. It gets further clarified as it comes back up through the heart chakra, and then when you go to speak, it's like you're speaking with greater clarity, with greater peace, with greater like the book of love starts to flow out, the Shekinah, the breath. And so that was what I was tuning into, just playing with the breath and how we move from the third chakra to the throat chakra, and how do we start to bring flow between these three energy centers. So if we just want to take maybe 3 deep breaths with that visualization, and then perhaps that might help someone next time they want to speak their truth and they're a little bit, tripping up on their words, or a little bit anxious or shaky or emotional. It could be helpful to open up that channel. So maybe closing your eyes and tuning into the breath, and really feeling that when you inhale slowly, take that breath all the way down into your solar plexus, and feel that as the breath of God, the Holy Spirit. Also, when your lungs are expanding, the heart's getting a massage and encouragement. And then as you exhale, you can visualize or imagine that you can easily speak your truth. You can easily speak with clarity. And just take a couple more deep breaths, exploring the breath in this way in relation to your emotions, your heart, and your voice. And you can continue to breathe. I'll just share this prayer that talks about the importance of silence as well as part of the throat chakra, where we listen twice as much as we speak, so that when we do speak, we're not doing miscreations, but we're on purpose and clear with what we are creating, and we're using the gift of the voice as God intended. In the silence before time began, in the quiet of the womb, in the stillness of the early morning, is your beauty. At the heart of all creation, at the birth of every creature, at the center of each moment is your splendor. Rekindle in me the sparks of your beauty, that I may be part of the splendor of this moment. Rekindle in me the sparks of your beauty, that I may be part of the blazing splendor that burns from the heart of this moment. Strength and beauty are your sanctuary. You are the author of beauty through your voice.
Beautiful. I think that's a good segue for the sacred kiss, don't you think?
Mm.
All right, Shekinah Ma, you're up.
All right. Well, in the last kiss, which is something that was shared between Yeshua and Mary Magdalena, and even just the tradition of the path of beauty and the church of love. Going to read from my notes. So Yeshua allows all the chi energy, all that life force, pranic, high vibrational energy of the being of the body of the Merkaba. And so you're channeling your energy, you're getting up that feeling of where you feel so ecstatic, where you feel and you tune into your bliss, because ether is actually related to bliss. And so as we channel our life force and as we come into that union, that divine union with our higher self, activating our Merkabic bodies, you actually start to literally channel bliss, which is akin to a Kundalini vibration. You're getting your Kundalini energies up and going, igniting the chakras, and you kind of come into that state of bliss. And you can even feel like great power of emotions, like it really excites like all the being, right? And so it's really like a trance. So I'm reading this to you, but I want you to start moving your body as if you're just kind of falling into this rhythmic song of creation, into that song of the universe, into that song and symphony of the stars. And as within, so without, and as above, so below. And it's all really just dancing inside of you. And so your whole being is starting to move, and the locks are unlocking and the blocks are unblocking, and things are starting to flow like the rivers of life. And you're just moving and breathing and gathering your life force energy. And as you're getting this to rise up from the roots of your root chakra and make its way up through the sacral and the solar and the heart, and then into this throat, right? These are the languages of love. This is what's called the gold living flame within the codes in the language of love. So when the body activates to your full throttle, the kiss, the sacred kiss, is giving super slow and very deliberate to its recipient, right? So you're really just like, here's my recipient. It's the Magdalene skull, strawberry quartz, gorgeous. And so you're just gonna look at your beloved. You could even just kiss your own hand. You don't have to lay this on somebody, but let me tell you, when you do lay this kiss of love and light and truth and peace and all the good stuff and all of creation, you're gonna feel it. The recipient is gonna feel it, and it's like being raptured. It's like being taken up into the seventh heaven. So you're feeling it, and you're feeling it, and you're working through all the darkness and all the lies and all the fighting and all the sickness and all the corruption, and you're just burning through that shit, and you're just getting higher and higher. And then you're just going to look upon your beloved, even if it's yourself in the mirror, which is a great beloved, because if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? And then you just lay it on that being with all that you got. And in this great love, we have looked into fairy tales and mythologies, and we look at Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Sleeping Beauty, right? And what happens is these beautiful divine feminines get put to sleep and they get turned off, like their power is turned off. And for whatever reason, it's the masculine that needs to come and rescue her and give her this sacred kiss, which does what? It brings her back from the dead and awakens her. And so this is like what Magdalena did for Yeshua when he was crucified, right? Is she must have had a way to get to his body and excite him through that sacred kiss, breathing through her mouth to his mouth, the breath of life transferred through that throat chakra. And then boom, resurrection. Boom, woken up from a coma. Boom, I once was lost, but now I'm found. So I feel like we want to invite everyone to practice that sacred kiss, to fall in love with themselves again, to forgive themselves again, to come back from the dead, from the zombie apocalypse, and be kissed by the angels and awoken and arisen again. So that is the sacred kiss, something that takes some practice because it's so out there. I don't know, like it's like having sex your first time. It's not going to feel super like the way you want it to. But when you get really good at it and you've, had it a few times come around, man, that kiss will change your life. And it's at that frequency we want to live, from that frequency, from that place of resurrection, from that place of being lost and found again. And that is the rapture. That is the bliss. That is ascension.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I
That's
wonder,
really powerful stuff, eh?
yeah. I wonder how much those fairy tales are inverted in the sense that it's actually the feminine. Because I'll just read you something quick here from this book. It says this throat chakra, we talked about the petals and everything. The divine power of the throat chakra is the Shekinah. The Shekinah.
In a bikini. Cool.
Is that in Sanskrit?
It is. It's from the super science of Gayatri.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it reminds me of Shekinah, and like that, the feminine presence or the indwelling presence of God, you know, the Holy Spirit, the eternal breath, the sustaining life force, right?
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it's just a question.
What if we take turns saving each other though?
Yeah.
Because the truth in the matter is I've had it laid on me by a man that like I was in despair and it just it got like it cleared the room in my head, right? Like when that man comes in and just lays one on you and everything else just doesn't really matter anymore. And all you can feel and think and vibrate is, oh my God, I love you.
Yeah. No, I don't think it matters, Shekinah Grace, because if I remember correctly, it was talked about in Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, as well, in her book, and how the Essenes greeted each other, you know. They would kiss on the mouth, whether it's a man or a woman, you know, and that's the way that that exchange of energy took place. So they were they were involved in that first family, if you will, right? That holy family and their practices. So I'm sure they practiced it within their community as well. So
It
I
makes
don't think
sense, like
it
the
matters.
part of the call, you know. But specifically, Disney did a lot, you know, of kind of
Kiss of true love, eh?
inversion around the feminine, like just specifically in that genre or field. But yeah, yeah, no, and yeah, that's anyways.
No, it's beautiful. Yeah. So if we can take all of that all these jewels of wisdom into other practices, if you will, and solutions. So there's singing, there's chanting, there's vocal affirmations, and there's focused meditation on the throat, right? There's that ujjayi breath that we just talked about, you know, just the yogic breath, the lion's breath. There's so many different ways in which you can open up that throat chakra. And then when we bring in the yoga poses, it's all of those energies that open up that energy in the throat as well. It's that fish pose, the shoulder stands, the cat and cow, the cobra, the sphinx, all of these poses bring that energy up into the throat, right? It opens up those channels. And then when you look at, perhaps you can talk to this, Shekinah Grace, and your Ayurvedic practice of massage. There's the neck massage, there's the oilation of that energy, right? Which opens up those channels as well and brings that soothing energy, if you will, to the throat, right? So oil is like that elixir, if you will, to bringing that calming energy into the throat. So a neck massage to soothe those energies. And then when you bring in that application, if you will, when you bring that into your mouth, in the teas that you drink, like for me, chamomile tea is very calming when I drink it. So it brings that calming, soothing energy into your body. And then there's lemon balm, there's eucalyptus. So all of these teas bring that calming energy into your body, which you're taking in through your mouth and delivering it through your throat, right? It's entering your body through your throat.
Well, and if you get sore lymphs, because we're coming into the fall, and a really good way to clear your lymphs, which are cleaning out all the toxins from your body, is right down the neck channel, right down the neck channel. And then it goes into what they call the garbage dump. And then you got to clear the garbage dump. And you can actually take out an earache. I've done it for my kids over 20 plus years, clearing their throat chakras from earaches and sore throats and, congestion and all of that fun stuff. And just, I've never taken my kids to a doctor once, but I've healed them from everything, just from simple techniques throughout chakras, working the chakras, exciting the chakras. Those are the nerves that turn on all the body mechanics, if you will. So
Absolutely.
the power of the actual tools within the sacred tool belt.
Yeah, yeah. And then we have like sacred herbs like, spearmint, peppermint, clove, cinnamon, fennel, mint. I put mint in my drink today. So yeah, there's all kinds of things that you can do.
Gargling
Then
with salt.
yeah,
That's a great one.
yeah.
Yeah.
And just detoxing in general, right? That's the way to become healthy once again. And then we have our beautiful crystals. The lapis lazuli, azurite, turquoise, the blue crystal that I had here, the blue aura crystal. So all these things just help us in healing those throat chakra energies.
The Chinese actually love the silk scarf around the neck because they say there's a gate right here at the back of the neck. And if you don't have your gate covered by either like scarves or like, stuff that covers up the neck area, through that gate or doorway, in comes the sickness. So you actually have to keep this covered in the cold, keep your ears covered in the cold. If you keep your gates covered, the sickness doesn't come in as much.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree, because this area is where you feel the temperature first, I think. In hot climates, and I know this is true for living in India, like when you're really, really warm, the first thing you do is to put like ice or cold water in the back of your neck, and your temperature just
Mhm,
instantly, it just cools down right away. So absolutely makes sense. Yeah.
mhm.
And silk is a very soothing material, right, to touch. So that makes
Well, it's
sense as well.
fine. I got
Yeah.
silk right here and I just like playing with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very calming, soothing energy too, right? So that makes total sense to be near your throat. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, and you always see, the people like this, right? They just keep it covered. Just keep it covered. Put it around, keep it covered. Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no
Yeah.
evil. Yeah.
Well, and when you think about what's his name now? The Matrix movie, right? They attach that energy through the back of the neck, right? So that's the extraction point. So that
Yeah.
makes total sense
Mm-hmm.
too, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. For real, for real.
Well,
Untoning, that's a really good
yeah,
way just
toning
to
is a good one.
unblock a block chakra. You don't have to do it, like you're a professional. Everybody just does it wherever they are at. And also humming. Did you know humming can unblock your vagus nerve? So just the power of humming will actually relax your vagus nerve. And once your vagus nerve heals, like half your problems are over. At least half your problems are over. So humming, toning, singing in the shower, just let it rip.
That's something I have to work on, because I'm very self-conscious, even to myself, you know. It's like
It
I
gets
sound
easier
like
the
an
more you do it, though. Then you
I
stop caring
know,
so
I
much
know. It's
about
like
that.
I feel self-conscious even to myself, just humming to myself. It's like it comes out like a croak sometimes, and I laugh at myself.
But that's the stuff working itself
I
out,
know,
right?
I
It's like
know,
you
I
got
know.
hockaloogie.
Yeah.
Get it out of there, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. Yeah. So I have to apply that to myself, don't I?
I guess it takes courage, hey, but it also takes humility. I like humility because really, it's not like you're fighting a bear, you're just singing. It's not that.
I know, I
You're
know.
just like whatever. That's why it's great to start all by yourself. And then
Yeah. Well,
I
it
have
goes
to teach
back to
the
my inner
children.
child as well, right? Yeah, it goes back to that, because I was a very shy child and very, very self-conscious. So, I would stand in the corner and not say anything. And for a very long time, even my adult life, I preferred to be in the background and not say anything. But like I said, this year has been like, that true birthing for me in terms of coming forth and speaking publicly, right? So that's been a truly yeah, it's been groundbreaking for me to be able to do that. So I'm still working through all of it.
Then you'll be singing like a lovebird. Yep.
Well, when I'm glad you brought that up. I saw a beautiful picture somewhere. When the birds sing, they are correcting the frequency within the environment. So that's why you
Mhm.
hear the birds singing in the morning. It's like they're clearing up the energy, they're correcting it based on the frequency of God, of the Creator, right? So that's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
About 4 o'clock in the morning, super high on mushrooms. This little girl, when she was young, walking through the town because I could not go to sleep. And then what do I hear? The bird song come to life. And I was just enthralled. I think I was probably around 17 or something. And I was like, oh my God, I was crying tears of joy. And then I started realizing the birds are taking all the humans' dreams and translating it to Great Spirit. And then Great Spirit was telling the birds what to tell the humans. And the birds were like, kind of the intermediums between spirit and the humans. And I was blown right away. And I was like, oh my God, the sacredness of birds. People have
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
idea. Carriers of messages. Oh
Yeah.
my goddess.
It's
The
a whole
eagle,
other world, isn't it? It's
the
like
hawk.
so multidimensional. And
Yeah,
when you think about it, it's like we've stamped that out of our reality, you know, it's like we don't pay attention to any of it.
right.
So yeah, truly we need to open ourselves up to nature, and there's so much to be learned from nature. So yeah.
That's where our wings come out. It's actually, we think of them coming out from the heart, and I suppose they do, but they come out here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like that's the bird energy, that's the bird song and the heavenly messenger energy. I remember when COVID first started, I just started singing this song. Um, I don't even know if it's a song or if I made it up. I have no idea. And it was sing, sing, sweet nightingale, sing. And I just kept singing that over and over again. And I didn't put the connection to like Florence
Sing it
Nightingale.
again. Sing it again.
Sing, sing, sweet nightingale, sing. Sing, sweet nightingale, sing your song loud and strong, sing sweet. And it was when like all the masks were being, enforced on people, and it just like repeated in my head. And Facebook stole it. They took it. I can't find the video. It was there one
Oh,
day, and then I posted about Florence Nightingale because she was a nurse who questioned the narrative
yeah.
during the Victorian era in the medical system. She actually carried a little owl with her in her pocket. So there's the bird energy, right?
Yeah.
And then a day after that post, the video was gone. The post was still there, but the video was gone. So when you talk about AI stealing the voice, that really kind of hit home because I've had my singing videos specifically, not my talking videos as much, but my singing videos just disappear. They're one.
Well, that makes sense, right? Because they wanted to silence us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why would they want your voice to be heard?
Yeah. But I just thought of that because of the bird song, and it's all kind of weaving in and tying in there. But yeah, and just how the voice is what's truly the medicine and the healing. We actually don't need anything outside of our voice to heal our own bodies through toning, through sound, and through light, which comes through the sound, the light codes and the light language, and
Yeah.
so it's just like it's such an amazing universe and quantum to
Absolutely.
this voice of ours.
That's a real song. Sing, sweet nightingale, sing, sweet nightingale. I don't sing right, but that is a song. I've heard it before. It's a beautiful song. And I'm just putting in the messenger. This is the just into the chat group here. So Bird Tribe is Rising. This is a great song for everybody to dance to and practice opening up their throat chakras. And then the next one is the discoveries coming out of Turkey right now in relation to the powerful, powerful unfolding of our true history. And so there's two little links in our chat.
Oh, okay. I just put the first one in. Sorry, what was the second one? I was not
That
paying
is the
attention.
Turkey one. I was able
Oh,
to
the
find
Turkey
it.
one. Okay, okay.
This is the missing key, evidence of a lost global civilization. And the man's name is Matthew LaCroix. Matthew
Okay.
LaCroix.
Okay.
For
I've
rich
put it
people
in the
out there,
live
you
chat.
could go on his tour in September. Oh my goddess. That'd be amazing. Oh,
Okay. Cool. I put it in the live chat as well so people can look at it. Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank
check
you so
out
much.
those links.
Yeah, the Bird Tribe, I've heard that song before and it's really beautiful. I put it onto my playlist and I listen to it sometimes, so it's really beautiful.
That'll get your throat chakra activated.
Yeah, it's
Especially
beautiful.
also the tuba throat singers. There's another group called the Hu, Hu. They're Mongolian. They're badass. And oh my God, you're just like, yeah. Makes you want to have your throat back and your voice just like, wow, yes.
Well, another thing comes to
Orgasm.
mind that
Throat.
I think it's from the New Zealand, isn't it? When they do their dance. What's it? Is it New Zealand?
The
The
Haka?
Aboriginal? Yeah, the
The
Haka.
Haka. Yeah,
Aboriginals,
that's
right? Yeah.
Maori. Maori
The
people.
Maori, that's right. Yeah, that's really powerful too, right?
Yeah, they stick out their tongue. Ha!
Yeah. That brings in that whole lion energy. I love it. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
And when I think it was a woman that went into like a courthouse and she brought that energy into the courthouse. Wow, I thought that was really powerful.
That was badass.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
That's what we want is a lot more of that.
yeah, absolutely. Well, ladies, it's been an hour. Do you have
Our
any
power.
closing closing comments before we sort of go into what's coming up for all of us as a collective and individually?
I do, with ending on that power note, because I read here as well that the form of the throat chakra is 0, and which makes me think of 0 point.
Hmm.
So, and the crystal spiral, and so the vibration and the frequency that comes from this center has the potential to step you off the karmic wheel, when it's used appropriately, when it's used as the voice of God, as the voice of creation. Then you can create from more of a 0 point field rather than recreating karmas, that you don't want to have to repeat over and over again.
Hmm.
So yeah, that
That makes total sense. Well, I think once you're connected to that heart chakra and in alignment with that higher self energy, I think it becomes harder and harder for you not to be able to speak from that 0 point field energy anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you're not in alignment, it just doesn't make sense to speak it out anymore, right? I think you'll question yourself before you actually speak it.
Yes. And there's one other system that kind of ties into that I've recently come across, that like the lower coccyx, sacral, and coccyx and sacral are feminine, and then the lumbar and moving through the thoracic is masculine, and then you come into the C-spine and it's androgynous. And so that speaks to that Heros Gamos, the union of the masculine and the feminine. When we get into the heart center, that starts to take place, but then it purely turns into like this neutral perspective, this neutral expression, when we're utilizing our voice as a voice of truth. There's
Yeah, absolutely.
no bias there. It's just it's a direct transmission of truth
Yeah,
through your ears of God.
totally makes sense. Thank you for that.
What
Oh,
do I
wow.
got? What is that crazy thing? Can you see what it says?
Honesty.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in the Anishinaabe people, the indigenous people of the Anishinaabe Nation, they have what's called the 7 sacred teachers. And you got the eagle, eagle's love. You got wolf's humility, bear's courage. Turtle is truth, right? You got beaver is wisdom, buffalo is respect. So there's 7 sacred animals, 7 sacred teachers. Sasquatch is honesty. So you wonder where Sasquatch went. It's because everybody started lying and living in
Mm,
lies Sasquatch is like, I'm out of here. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sasquatch is making a return, and you'll actually see it bloody everywhere. I've been on this path for a long time. I've been learning about these animal totems and the seven sacred teachers, forever. And I never seen Sasquatch anywhere. Okay. When I was a kid, you never see it, you never hear of it. Kind of thought it was a joke. It's like Harry and the Hendersons, right? But then, as all this disclosure is happening, as all the veils are lifting, as all this truth is coming out, now I see Sasquatch every freaking where. Socks. Somebody's got it on their truck. It's their business name. See it on coffee cups. I saw a Sasquatch coffee shop. All right. It's like it's freaking everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. And so we just have had several sightings of Sasquatch here in the Kootenays. So for reals, you're honest, and the magic comes back on.
Yeah. Well, you guys know, yeah, you met Catrice, right? She came on a couple of our grid work missions, right? Her boyfriend, her current boyfriend, is a photographer of Sasquatch.
Cool.
So he chases down this creature wherever, they claim to have sightings, and he's gone and documented all of these sightings. And he's actually gone to the ostrich farm as well, and he's done a really great video of the ostrich farm.
Nice.
Yeah,
so Sapporo is one of my main characters in my book. I wrote Frequency, the Hour of Power Has Come, and Sapporo is beautiful, so awesome. I loved that character, and I didn't just make it up. He stepped in like Chewbacca, like like I was like, whoa, nice. So he got in the book.
Nice.
He actually probably wrote the book. I just freaking typed it out. Yeah, they're good beings, very good beings. Unless you piss them off, then run like hell.
Yeah. All right, ladies, let's talk about our upcoming gridwork mission, Healing the Water, coming up on August the 22nd. I'm going to paste the link in the chat if you guys want to talk a little bit about it while I do that.
Sure. The Messages of the Water. I met Masaru Emoto back 20 plus years ago, and I had no idea how actually like that profound teaching was going to come through. Our bodies are majority water. The sky is actually majority water. It's all hydrogen vapor. We watched today as the evaporation, condensation, and precipitation all manifested in this big giant circle of life. So we need to clear our waters, our emotional body. We need to clear our memories. We need to bring healing to our memories. We need to bring healing to our water, because water is life. Mini wachoni, they say. Water is life, and water will be like gold if we're not careful. It'll be the most precious resource in existence, because guess what? You can't live without water, right? And if we poison all of our waters, and if the poisoned waters in our own beings don't get reconciled, then we will have Third World War, and we will blow this planet right up, just like they did Tiamat, right? So we got to heal our waters like nothing else. It's like a high level priority. You'll heal yourself, and you'll heal creation, and you'll bring in so many blessings, because the book of love is in the water. So you want to access the codes of love, beauty, and healing, and all the actual, like, make your way back home, welcome home. It's all in the water. All the rivers meet into the ocean. All water goes into that place of the heart. The heart is the ocean. So all I can say is, if you want life, and you want love, and you want healing, and all the beautiful magic in life, you got to heal the waters. It's a priority.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. And I think as a precursor to that, I'm going to share the blessings that I received from Mary Magdalene in terms of the baptism. And so the night before our gridwork mission, I will be sending out the link to that meditation as we prepare for the gridwork mission on the 22nd. So there's that to look forward to. So we have Mary Magdalene sort of blessing us before we go into this, baptizing our own energies with the water before we can engage in the actual healing of the planet. And I think we talked about beginning our journey in France. So we're going to find a good location where we're going to follow Mary Magdalene's footsteps. And that will be our landing zone from where we start our gridwork mission. So
Montsécure.
it'll be
Well,
close to Montsécure, yeah.
in the cave of Montsécure in the spring, they hid the book of love, which was just Jesus, Yeshua's gospel.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, that will be our landing zone and our starting and ending point for the gridwork mission. So do sign up, folks. We would love to have you as part of this mission. It's very, very important to us as we're going to be traveling. The places we've got so far on the map are Japan, Australia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Sri Lanka, and India. But I'm sure we'll come up with a few more places as we get closer to the date. But that's on our radar at the moment. Shekinah Grace, do you have anything to say?
Just the blood's coming to mind. I always bring it into the body, which, we say every week. It's like what we do in these missions heals ourselves, but specifically we'll be purifying the blood through this mission as we work on the waters on the
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think we're going to be targeting blood, plasma, water.
Right.
Yeah.
I keep hearing like blood of Christ, right?
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
The body of Christ, the blood of Christ is in like an internal alchemical process of becoming Christed. It's not like the little cracker and the wine and this kind of weird sacrifice, like this ritual.
Yeah.
So that's what's been popping in for me is spiritualizing the blood and that golden frequency.
Absolutely. Anything else you folks want to talk about in terms of personal events coming up? Anything you want to share? You're muted.
Not at the moment for me. I'm good.
Okay. Just a quick plug-in here for Shekinah Grace and myself. We'll probably be doing a show in the next couple of days, depending on our availability. And Shekinah Grace has some beautiful news, so I'll leave it as a cliffhanger for now. So stay tuned for that show coming up. Shekinah Grace and myself will be doing a show in the next couple of days. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed this show with us, the throat chakra. So yeah, just put a like on this on your way out. Have a great evening.
Peace.
Thank you.